Hey guys, it's Moreland. I am finally back on YouTube for a 2018 guide series for Black Desert Online. If you're wondering where I've been, I'm currently streaming the game over on Twitch about 5 days a week, so check that out if you want a place to hang out or ask questions as the game continues to change. In the meantime, let's get back to today's topic, which is trading. Trading is probably the most difficult and misunderstood life skill in Black Desert Online. Because there is so much to discuss here, this guide will be broken up into 3 videos. The first video, this one, will explain what trading is and how it works. If you're already pretty familiar with the mechanics of trading, then you can probably skip ahead to part 2, which will answer the question of whether or not trading is actually worth leveling up. Many people have been misinformed and led to believe that trading is going to magically make them rich, when in reality the skill will actually lose money for players who do not have the time or flexibility to set it up correctly. For those of you who do decide to stick with it, part 3 will talk about the best way to level up trading and how to move and sell trade crates. As always, check the description below for relevant links and a time-stamped table of contents for what this video contains. Trading governs any item that can be turned into a trade NPC, and you can identify these items by seeing if it has an origin point. So in this case, the well-polished soul has a line on it that says Origin Lynch Ranch. So this indicates that this is a trade eligible item that we can sell to a trade manager NPC. And trade manager NPCs are all over the world. Let's go ahead and talk to one in English and see what this looks like in game. So I've got this well-polished soul in my inventory, and if I click the trade button, my items will appear over here on the right side that I have to sell. And there's a few bonuses that we need to make sure are applied before I sell this. So the first one is the market bonus and the distance bonus. Right now, our market bonus is set to 30%, which is bad, and our distance bonus is not applied. Now the reason that these bonuses are both being penalized is because my node to Lynch Ranch is not connected. So if we look at the map, right now I'm down here in Glish. The item originated from this mountain over here at Lynch Ranch, and I'm missing a node in between these two. I don't have Northwestern Gateway connected. Now when you're connecting your nodes for the sake of trading, just the straightest path possible is usually the best one. The game doesn't actually care which route you take. It's just going to calculate point A from point B. So if I do some crazy zigzag all the way over here and then come back, I don't get any extra distance bonus for that. It doesn't matter. You should just connect your nodes in the way that costs the fewest contribution points possible. So in this case, we'll just go ahead and connect Northwestern Gateway. And now we can see that the nodes in between Lynch Ranch and Glish are fully connected. And when we talk to the NPC again, suddenly my market bonus is going to be 100% and my distance bonus is 7. Now a distance bonus of 7 is not very high, and when we get later into the guide we'll be working with bonuses much higher than this, but just for the sake of example, we can see that the distance bonus is now applied and the market bonus is set to 100%. There's 2 different ways the market bonus works. For some items, it's fixed at 100%, and I believe the well-polished soul is one of them. For other items, such as fish, the price here will fluctuate between 80 and 130%. And basically, the more of those items that have been sold to the NPC, the less the NPC will be willing to pay for it. So if it's a more rare item that the NPC hasn't seen for a while, then they'll pay up to 130%. If it's a common item that a bunch of people have sold recently, then the price can go down to 80%. One way to get better market bonus when you're turning in your trade goods is to have your guildies open up the map to Valencia on various different channels. And if you click these trade icons here, you can spend 1 energy to see how much an item is selling for. So we go over here to sell, and in this example, let's say you're fishing over by Etheria and you have an inventory full of coelacanths and you want to make sure that you get the most money possible for those. Then your guildies on various different channels can take a second, open up the map, and in this case, this channel coelacanths are selling for 130%, which is the highest that they can go. So this would be a great place to unload your inventory. Now if you have a lot of these to sell. Keep in mind, the more coelacanths you sell to this NPC, the lower this price is going to become. So you might decide that you only want to sell a certain amount of fish here, and then you want to go over to the other trade manager and sell some more. It may even be worth your time to change channels and wait for the 15-minute cooldown and change channels again. It all just depends on how much inventory you have. You're going to have to kind of figure that out on your own if it's actually worth waiting for those channel cooldowns to get the additional prices, but maybe you can do something on a different character in the meantime while you're waiting. Keep in mind, when it comes to turning in your pirate coins in your crates, this is not going to matter because they will be fixed at 100%. But for other fluctuating items such as fish, it's a good idea to ask your friends to check on the prices for you so you can get the most possible. The next bonus that you're going to take advantage of is the bargain bonus, and this scales with your trading skill. So the higher your trading skill, the more you'll get from bargaining. It's equal to 0.5% increase per trade level. So it costs 5 energy to do this, and this little bargain mini game is basically random. I usually just do a shout and then 2 careful bargains, and then in this case it works. Sometimes it doesn't. If you have higher amity with the trade NPC, you'll get more bargain attempts. The base is 3. You can get it up to like 7 or 8 if you raise your amity with the NPC. And then there's also a item that you can buy from a luxury vendor, but you can't equip it until you have professional 5 trading. So if you want to go buy the trading costume from the luxury vendor, that will also give you a little bit more bargain chances when you're selling your items. And there's Grana. So you can see the price over here has gone up. It says bargain bonus applied. So far we've discussed 3 bonuses. There's the market bonus, the distance bonus. Both of these are applied when we connect the node. Then we have the bargain bonus, which we get a bonus based on our trade skill. And then finally, there's one more very important bonus to talk about, and that is the Artisan 2 Desert buff. So you can't get this buff until your trade skill is at least Artisan 2, and we'll talk about how to level up your trading a little bit later. But once you get your Artisan 2 trading, you go to Oasis and you do a short quest to unlock a buff. The buff itself is acquired from Pilgrim's Sanctum sharing. You come to the sharing node and you spend 100 energy to get a 1-hour buff that will increase your trade goods by 50%. It'll increase the price by 50%. So usually most high-end trading is done in Valencia because Valencia is the only place where this bonus can be applied in a meaningful way. It's only a desert bonus, so it doesn't work in other parts of the world. So basically, you will come all the way out here, you'll go to sharing, you'll get your buff, you'll go over to Valencia. There's 2 different trade managers in Valencia that you can use to check prices, or if the item that you're selling is just fixed at 100%, then you can just sell it to the closest one. And this is how most trading is done. Most people, when they're fishing or when they're making crates or whatever it is, most trading will be turned in Valencia City, although there are some exceptions to that. So let's talk about the different types of trading and why you might want to level trading in the first place. There's basically 4 different types of trading in the game. There's trade items that can be purchased from trade manager NPCs. And honestly, 99% of you will not touch this part of trading, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Really, the only viable trade NPC goods in the game right now are the ones that you can buy out at Port Rat. And it requires a pretty high trade skill to get involved. You need about Master 10 trading to take full advantage of the trade goods in Port Rat. And there's a lot of sailing involved. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, you can research that on your own. We will not be covering it in today's guide. The next type of trading is trade items that are dropped out in the world. You can get these from grinding monsters, or you can get them from gathering and farming. Usually the ones you get from gathering and farming are, you're not going to get enough of them for it to really be significant. The only mob dropped trade goods that people really get in significant quantities are the coins from pirates out at Kuwait Island. So if you're grinding a lot of Pirate Island, then you can stack up these coins and go and turn them in Valencia with a desert bonus and get quite a nice extra sum of money for turning in your pirate coins. The next category of trade items is fishing. I wouldn't say trading is worth it if you're just AFK fishing, since AFK fishing is mainly about ancient relic shards. But if you're someone who's doing a lot of active fishing, or if you are specifically AFK fishing in Grana overnights, then it can be worth it to connect your nodes all the way out to Valencia and turn in your fish with that extra Artisan 2 bonus. And then finally, the last topic, which we'll be covering most in depth here today, is items that can be crafted by your workers. So let's go ahead and take a look at what those look like in game. So you've probably heard a lot about crate trading and people talking about how much money they make off of their crates. And usually what they're referring to are these items right here. So if you go into a town, you can click this filter up here and look for various workbenches or factories. In this case, we will take a look at a mineral workbench, since that's the one I currently have running. And I'm currently in the process of making these steel crates. So basically what I've done is I've processed steel while I'm AFK, and then I've sent my steel to Grana, and now I have a worker making steel crates in Grana. And the reason why we picked Grana is because it is the furthest workshop away from Valencia. Remember, most trading is centered around turning in Valencia, since it's the best destination to apply the buff from sharing. So the furthest possible crate workshop we can get from Valencia are the workshops in Grana City. This means whenever I'm turning in trade items from Grana, I am connecting the nodes all the way across the entire game from Grana to Valencia, and you can see this connection here. Some people like to do the connection over the water instead. It can be a little bit cheaper, especially if you already have the Salzen node. I have some overland nodes over here at Veterans Canyon that I take, so in my case I just connect straight overland. If you want to see what this connection looks like, we'll just kind of briefly sweep through it. Kind of comes through here. I've got some other nodes in the area that I'm taking anyways, so I'm just kind of filling the gaps in between nodes that I have workers on and whatever the shortest way to connect this pathway is, going up through Kaya Mountain here, down through Bear, and then finally once you get to Calm Sylvia, the connection is pretty straightforward. I recommend you use a website called somethinglovely.net if you need help with connecting your nodes. It's a really good website that has an interactable map where you can kind of see things. Even if you haven't discovered the nodes yet in game, you can use that website to figure out the best way to connect things. Alright, that concludes part 1 of the guide. The link to part 2 should be up on your screen if you're ready to continue. Or you can click the other link if you want to take a break and check out some original shirts, mugs, and other merch made just for this channel. Either way, I appreciate you and I hope you enjoyed the video.